Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
Jordan Bardella, the protege of hard-right leader Marine Le Pen, declared last week during a pre-election debate that France is tired of 7 years of Macronism. The results of last night's first round of parliamentary elections suggest he was correct. Le Pen and Bardella's National Rally, RN, party won some 33% of the vote, according to the Interior Ministry, followed by the left-wing New Popular Front Alliance on 28%, with incumbent President Emmanuel Macron's centrist alliance languishing in a distant third on just 20%. Le Pen late last night gleefully declared that the French president's party had almost been wiped out as she celebrated the victory, with the RN now set to prepare for the second and final round of the elections on July 7th. But why has France, a party which has not been helmed by a far-right government since Nazi occupation in World War II, seemingly lurched towards that side of the political spectrum? And why, in reference to Bardella's statement last week, are the French people so sick and tired of life under Macron? The National Front is largely seen as a hard-right party at home and abroad, but its own members are loath to refer to themselves as such. RN members see themselves as nationalists and localists who hold the interests of the French people above all others. This, of course, means cracking down on immigration, something which has grown consistently in France for decades. According to Statistics Office INSEE, immigrants constituted 5% of the population in 1946. This figure increased 3.5 percentage points to 8.5% in 2010. But net migration has soared since then and jumped even higher after Macron came to power in 2017. Now more than 10% of the French population is made up of immigrants. Meanwhile, Macron's presidency has seen a litany of shockingly violent attacks authored by Islamic extremists. The murder and beheading of history teacher Samuel Paty in 2020 by a Chechen Muslim refugee sparked national outrage, but many more attacks have happened since then. Late last year, another French schoolteacher was stabbed to death and several others injured by an Islamist knifeman in Arras, and a German tourist was killed by a 26-year-old man who had previously been sentenced to a 4-year prison sentence for planning to join the Islamic State in Syria. For his part, Macron is cognizant of both issues. In October last year, he gave an impassioned speech condemning violent extremism, days after a French schoolteacher was stabbed to death by a 20-year-old Islamist. And in December his government passed a bill that made it harder for migrants to access state benefits that at the time was lauded by Le Pen as an ideological victory for the RN. Non-EU citizens working in France now have to prove they have been in the country for 30 months before they can receive welfare benefits such as child care. Meanwhile, unemployed immigrants must wait 5 years before they can get benefits, a massive increase versus the previous stipulation of just 6 months. But these measures are seemingly too little, too late, with the RN promising a much tougher stance on immigration. Bardella himself has declared he will wage a cultural battle against Islam if his party emerges victorious from parliamentary elections. If he is made prime minister in the case of an RN absolute majority, the party will seek to pass legislation to combat Islamist ideologies in France that would grant the government enhanced powers to shutter mosques and deport imams suspected of being associated with extremist ideologies. Besides the commitment to reduce the influence of Islam in France, another RN proposal being pushed by Bardella would see the abolition of free healthcare for foreigners and the droit du sol law, which affords anyone born on French soil the right to citizenship. Himself the son of Italian immigrants, he said a far-right government would install a national preference, putting foreigners at the back of the queue for welfare benefits. The RN candidate also declared he would prevent dual citizens from accessing certain strategic state jobs, a measure that was dismissed by Macron's Prime Minister, Gabriel Attal, as xenophobic. The message you are sending is that when we are dual citizens, we are half citizens, we are not real French people, Attal said last week, adding that he suspected the real targets of the RN proposal